I love it when I run across something unexpected, and I did today. It means I can share it with you and get your thoughts on the situation. Well, have you had any wind yet in your area? I think I know the answer to that one. Spring fishing is synonymous with wind. And whenever I get the chance to investigate what is happening during different seasons, different water temps, in high winds, I jump at the opportunity. We know that wind can be an angler's friend. It can push life into the shallows on wind-blown banks. The predators often follow, including bass. This is especially true in the warmer months when the shallows can be lacking in oxygen from the heat. The wind pushing the water around stirs things up. And because of that, there can be life all over the place. But what about right now? In the spring, when we are not at those normal summer temperatures yet, well, here's the situation. This particular part of the lake is often calm. In fact, most days it is flat calm. It is extremely protected from winds in almost every direction. For the water to look like this, and I know it doesn't seem like much, it is really blowing hard on the main lake. This is another lake that is not far from me at the same time I was out. My little lake is too small to show up here on the app, but this demonstrates and shows you what I was dealing with. The winds were very seasonal and appropriate for the time of year, coming out of the west, northwest. Seasonal weather patterns are always better than unseasonal. And you can see down here on the timeline the lighter shade of gray that is showing what the wind was gusting to. We had pretty much sustained winds at 20 miles per hour and gusting to 30 miles per hour for the bulk of the day. So how would a part of my lake that is normally calm respond to this? Well, let's find out. The first thing I noticed is that the panfish were extremely skittish in here, which is highly unusual. Normally I can film panfish right up close, and they couldn't care less. But no matter where I went today, those little bluegills would bolt before I ever really got near them. In fact, in a lot of the footage, they are hard to see because they took off so fast. Well, that really struck me as odd. I rarely see that. Then I started to see bass. In fact, I found a decent number of bass in here, but like the panfish, they too were really spread apart. One here, maybe two here, but all over this particular bay, definitely not congregated and pushed towards the wind-blown bank like I would have thought. In fact, when I checked down at the far end of the bay, I found nothing. The water was sitting right close to that 50-degree mark. Well, why was this happening? What was going on here? Well, I have a thought, but definitely look forward to hearing what you think as well. Now, bass anglers know that several days of a consistent weather pattern is a good thing, and that consistency can be temperature, clouds, sunlight, or whatever. Fish are in more predictable places, life gets into a routine, and like I mentioned, this part of the lake is calm most of the time. Are the fish in here put on edge by the extra commotion going on? Well, you wouldn't think that down at this depth where they were swimming around, they would be much bothered by the surface commotion. But like I said, those panfish are on high alert and would burst off way more than they normally do. So my question is it possible that parts of the lake that rarely see high winds are more likely to be affected negatively? Or should I say, we can't assume it will automatically drive fish shallower if there is an unusual weather pattern, in this case the high wind, for that section of water. I know if I were out in the boat here today, the first thing I would have done was to go to the back of this pocket where the wind was pounding and start fishing. And I would have come up with nothing. There wasn't any life back there at all. Please share your thoughts and experiences on what you think was going on. Thank you to the Deep Dive app for sponsoring this video. You can see how extremely helpful that wind pattern feature is. I use it all the time. You can get more information on the Apple Store, Google Play Store, or follow the link down below in the description. And hey, if you would like to watch a video, another side-by-side comparison video between a pegged and unpegged worm weight and some different retrieves and what's really happening. Go ahead and check this one out right here. And make sure that you go ahead and encourage someone today. You never know how you might just change their life. For the Bass Fishing Life, I'm your host, Steve Rogers.